Time to take a look at what I made for week 3 of the Great British Sewing Bee season 11. This was designer icons week and we had a blast, all the sewers in the room. So I brought Gladys down from my workroom and we're going to check out what I made. So first up we had the pattern challenge, and this was a wrap dress to be made in stretchy jersey fabric. Now I'd worked with stretch fabrics in the past, but a lot of the other sewers don't really specialise in it, so it was a bit of a learning curve for everybody in the room. Week 3 was a real turning point for me. It was when I kind of figured out that if I did what I wanted to do, I was going to have a lot more fun than focusing so much on what the judges wanted to see. And I think this was really evident in this Diane von Furstenberg's wrap dress that we got given. I really enjoyed making every aspect of this dress. It was something that I'd never made before, but I had sort of worked with the fabrics in the past. Even though I did make a critical mistake of wrapping the dress the wrong way. I would say it was left-handed, but the judges said no, it was just wrong. Even though it was wrong, I still managed to pull 7th place, which is amazing considering that it was fundamentally not what they asked me to do. Now I never say this about things that I've sewn because I'm my own worst critic, but this was pretty well sewn. The cover stitch machine encased everything, the elastic and the neckline wasn't stretched and bowing. It was just really well sewn, and I think that was why they placed me 7th when really it should have been last because it wrapped the wrong way. 7th place, I was happy with that. So it was onto the transformation, and this was a Vivienne Westwood inspired garment. We were given household items, so it was like pillowcases and throws and blankets and all things you get around the house, and curtains. Now I can't really remember what they said off the top of my head of how many items we could take, but I know there was a certain limit. The judges told us that it had to be reminiscent of the punk era, which was all Vivienne Westwood. So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I used a leather pillowcase for the bra. I then cut a curtain up to make the asymmetrical dress. Now what wasn't shown in the edit was the harness on the leg. I cut the hoops out of the top of the curtain. We all had so much fun doing this one, and I came 5th, which is pretty middle of the pack, which was great. Now it was on to the main event of the made to measure, and it was a Versace inspired dress. Now I was inspired by a Versace dress that JLo wore for an award ceremony. This dress was super famous because it was the one that JLo wore, and that many people searched for it. It made Google come up with their Google Images function. What didn't make the edit for the show was that I didn't actually have a pattern for this dress. The plan was to come in, drape it on the model, and sew it as I go. That in hindsight is probably why some of the finishing wasn't great. But with that being said, Mira, my model, looked fantastic and she was absolutely working it. Patrick said it had impact walking down the catwalk. All in all, I loved week 3 and I'm really enjoying going through these garments, so follow along for week 4.